welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna, and I am participating in the hop that is called Mad About Mini Paper Pads. There are no rules other than you can't use a big piece of paper. You have to start with your mini paper pads. So that could be 2x2, which I don't own any of, 6x6, 6x8, what have you, as long as it's not a big piece of paper. I have photos, and I know I've scrapped some of them of this event. My daughter, my youngest, turned 21. So I've got all of these photos. They did some slots, they did some bingo, and I'm going to get this on a 2-page spread. I went and I have the video linked below. So it is from Scrapbook Generation, and she used mini paper pads for, I don't know how many, I would maybe say 10 different layouts. So this is a double page spread. I will have had it at the beginning, and I'm just going to get a lot of photos on. So what I'm really going to do now is use these along with my two 12x12 for backgrounds, which I am allowed, and speed up and then let you know what I'm doing. So I have to warn you right now that this is a long video for what I am doing. I guess it's a 2-page spread, but I don't usually take this long. Only time I take this long is when I am doing mixed media, and I will not be doing mixed media. So right now I'm just trimming up my photos 4x4, and I usually do this kind of carefully, and that's why it takes me a little bit longer. But I take a little bit off where it makes the most sense, generally the top, to get to like the top of people's heads, and then take some off the bottom. And if I need to go back to the top again, I do, if that makes sense. Let me know if you have questions. But I just want the most important thing in the middle of the picture. So then I go into my 6x6 pad. It is Colorbach Carnival, and that is the brand that you can get at Walmart. And I go and I pick out ones to put in a 4x4 square around the right side of the page. And I won't make you sit and watch me cut out every one, but I will cut out the very first one and get them all glued down. And I'm just making it sure that, salads aren't by salads, or what reads as a salad isn't by a salad. And I grabbed out my pocket cards. On the left side, she has pictures all the way around the outside in 4x4 size. I don't have enough photos, and that's where the pocket cards come in, which is a really good way to use those pocket cards. So I just look through my stash, and I have them pretty much separated out by color, but I just have this group that sits on my desk. So that's the first thing I go to, and that's all I needed to look for was the randomness bits on my desk. So that was pretty exciting. They all pretty much went with these colors. Now there's a lot of colors in there. I did stay away from pink. You'll see there's that nice kind of blush pink on the left side on the bottom of the 6x6 pad there. So there is some of that light pink, but it seemed like a lot of the things I wanted to bring in were more of a bright pink, so I stayed away from those. And I do go through like every one of these just to make sure there's nothing I want. I find that coral one, which doesn't exactly match exactly, but there's orange, and like I said, there's that blush pink, and it's kind of a travel. It's got like a mail stamp on it and writing and things. So because it was a girls' weekend, that one worked good. And totally love this. So proud of myself to find those two cards to lay together. So I trimmed down that hooray, and I could have trimmed a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom, and actually then I could have saved it square, if that makes sense, but I didn't. I just hacked off the bottom, so then I rounded the corners, and then because that one's rounded, I'm going to round the corners of this one when I trim this down as well too. And I was just careful. I wanted to keep that mail stamp on there, so I trimmed the other side and rounded the corners. And then I do a little playing around just to make sure everything's where I want it to be and that I am happy with it. And here I go trimming down 6x6 pads to 4x4. Lots of scraps, obviously, from this, but I have punches, and you'll see me get those out later, that can I can use the scraps. So I'm not worried about scraps. I've got plenty of paper. Now, when I get to the end, the middle one there didn't sit flush. And the one on the left was a little overlapped on the outside, if that makes sense. So I brought it in, and then that white one fit in perfectly. And then I go to glue my photos down and the papers, and have just a little problem with extra space because that one card lays the way it does with the journaling. I need something to go behind it. I didn't need to use full pieces of paper. They totally could have been scraps because it does go 4 inches across the other way. But at this point, I was like, I have all this paper, I have all these scraps. I'm going to just use a square to make it nice and square, if that makes sense. And I will quit saying if that makes sense. But just let me know if it doesn't make sense. So I get that middle part glued down, and then I go, this one on the bottom didn't go all the way across. So I just, a piece that I had snipped off, tucked it in there, and you can't even tell that I've added an extra piece. It just takes that white strip away, so that was perfect. The next thing I'll do is look for embellishments, and I go into my stash for that. I do want to back those photos on the right with a white matte, and so I do that. Just makes them pop off the patterned paper just a little bit better. I don't often matte my pictures, but Allison Davis in her sketch or in her layout at the beginning, she did. She does matte her photos, so I did too, which I liked because, like I said, it just makes it pop off a little bit. That's where I go in and grab stuff out of my stash. That is from, I had gotten it, that's from the Stamps of Life. I had gotten it secondhand at a crop. And again, the colors work well. I try to use one that's more of a light blue and with a red heart. There you go. And that's the wrong color, so that one doesn't make it. These banners I cut apart, and I didn't realize how easy they clip, so I clipped off one of the points of a banner, but you can't tell it really, so I was just surprised that my scissors just went through it like butter, but it's all good. And then I just, put these around the page in the same spots where Allison has her clusters. I go that those sheets on the right hand side in the corner are kind of washi stickers, so I pull out a couple of those. At one point, I think about trying to use a punch, but I don't think they're gonna go through those. They're nice and thin stickers, but so they probably won't punch good. But I do use them to get them in different clusters. I end up making another cluster to the left of those vertical 4x6 pictures, and that's where I pick out some of the stars. These are acetate stickers by Ellie's Studio for the title, and I was excited to use those. I also pull out a stamp set by Ellie's Studio. It's the tile letters. I was so excited to get them. I haven't used them. I probably have had them for a year, so I use them on this layout. Super excited. And I wanted to call it Bingo Birthday, but I wasn't sure which letters I should use for bingo and which I use for birthday. And because bingo, I would have taken more effort to stamp out and is shorter, I went with the small ones for bingo. And maybe it says birthday bingo. Yes, not bingo birthday. It is birthday bingo. So bingo is the bottom. And I use Tiki Torch by Catherine Pooler to stamp those out. I thought it was going to match the orange a little bit better. It's a little bit brighter than I was anticipating, but it makes it stand out nice, and I'm totally fine with it. So I use these acetate stickers for birthday, and I thought later as I was looking at this, should I have done like birth on the top and day, like a hyphenated letter, because the Y ends up going onto the orange. I'm not super upset about that, so I think it's okay. I did them really wonky so that I didn't have to line them up. Right there I pointed to, I need something in this corner. I went into my stash. I have this arrow punch, but when I went to my stash, it it reminded me, ooh, you have this arrow punch. It worked out nice because it's in the right color, and I do figure I want more um, arrows, so I do go back to the punches. That heart is an Ellie Studio heart. And then I have this is Paper Studio, and because it says birthday bingo, I put the cake on there. And it matches all the colors so nice. Then I layer up my embellishments that I've gotten out, just like in the other clusters I've set up. Get that arrow down, and then proceed to do, see, that's where it's like, oh, this blue is totally the wrong blue. But I want to make sure all my clusters have, you know, an even amount of weight. So I'll add something to there. But I do, like I said, I find this star, and I find another star, which is kind of that coral color. So I'll put that on there. This blue one wrinkled just a little bit. So, oh, those are planner stickers. So I can write something on there like the date or some words. I usually will talk to the girls later about that and just write something in there. The name of the casino, things like that. But this blue star wrinkled, so I actually cut it out into a star shape, which probably wasn't necessary, but it wasn't hard to do. I was kind of surprised with my favorite Tim Holtz scissors. So I cut the first one out, and then I put it in the middle. I don't know why I put it in the middle, but I did. And then I find another star, which is great, but it's like I want two because I don't want, like, if I have two of an item, I'm going to spread them out, if that makes sense, and I would put something else in the middle. I end up using a purple star, which I don't have purple anywhere on the page, but I don't think it stands out that much. And with all these colors going in, just so that I could have 3 stars, I used the purple star. So, and now you see why this video is 14 minutes long, even when I sped it up 4 times and cut a whole bunch out as well. Yes, so make sure to check below as far as who else is playing along with the mini paper pad series. It's a bunch of creative, happy, friendly people on the list that are all making really great layouts. So go ahead and check them out, give them some love, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to them yet. Oh, there's I got my punch out, I got some scraps out, and then I have to get my Creative Memories tool out to get the arrow snuck underneath there so that it points at the cake. Just, it needed a little something, and that Papa Orange was perfect for that cluster. So I think that page is pretty well finished up, and then I'm going to start getting those clusters down on the left side and cleaning up my space as I go along so I don't get so overwhelmed with everything in my space. There are those same stickers that are going there, and then I did the same darn mistake where I stuck the sticker down and have to get it back up again so I can stick my banner underneath there. This is a sticker that says Smiles, which is very appropriate. It's probably a Paper Studio one, and it's from my stash. I'm using stuff up for certain. And then, oh, I got the little XO washi tape onto the banner. I like to do that because you can't really tell. It looks like the XO is really right on the banner. It's pretty cool. Some more Ellie Studios stickers, and I think that's about it. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Check everybody else that's playing along, and I will see you again tomorrow for another video. Take some time to get crafty today, my friends, and leave me a comment below of what you've been up to.